And now for our second class piece, let's give it up for Leo Mwang on guitar and vocals, Stefan Papiano on the keyboard, Adam Stearns on tenor sax, Jason Horwitz on guitar and vocal. We have on bass guitar, Mr. Adam Gogolak, and lastly, Adrian Maratiello on drums.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know I went to Williams, tried to figure everything out. You know I broke all the rules and almost got thrown out. But here I am, woman, with only one more night to go. But you gotta save your goodbyes for another day. 'Cause at light night, baby, we gonna be turning those lights down low. Take it, Jay. Give you 30 grand a year. I work my butt off every night. Now you want my cash for the alumni fund. You know that just ain't right. But I'm gonna give it to you, baby. Oh, yeah, I am. 'Cause deep down I love the things you do. You know, for 4 strong years you're giving me your love, baby. And I'm gonna give my love back to you. Oh, yeah. What do you say, Lee Holmes? I'll tell you. You know the Greyhound down in Williamstown, it ain't no limousine, but it'll take me down to Chicago. I'll be making money for my queen. That's right, I'm starting on the right foot. OCC, they done me right. You know I learned all my skills at Armstrong Late Night. Yeah. James Brown sound. Song for you, and the bus is on its way. But just before we go, we want to find a way to say. That's right. What do we want to find a way to say? What is that? Goodbye. Say it one more time. Goodbye. Say this last one with us now, class of '98. Come on now. Any note to do. Come on. You know it hurts to say it. It hurts so bad to go, baby. Oh my God. But you gotta say it. Dying up here. Come say it with us now. One more time. Everybody all together. I said goodbye. Goodbye, baby.
To conclude today's ceremony, Mac and I will take this pocket watch to the top of Thompson Chapel and drop it to the pavement below. Hopefully it will shatter. If it does, we have stopped time, so to speak, and thereby ensured ourselves innumerable years of good luck. To lead us in song now, and whether they realize it or not, are those senior a cappella groups, those seniors in a cappella groups. Basically, would half the class please come up?
Where all my mother dwelleth with her chosen man. rebounding their woodland heights along, shall mingle with anthems that winds and fountains sing, till hill and valley gaily, gaily ring. Beneath their peaceful shadows may old William stand, till the suns and mountains nevermore shall be the glory and the honor of our mountain land, and the dwelling of the gallant and the free. The mountains, the mountains, we ring with the song, whose echoes rebounding their woodland heights along, shall mingle with anthems that winds and fountains sing. Till hill and valley gaily, gaily ring.
You're not allowed to break it yourself. Got it.
25 years from now.
It'll still be ticking when we
Hello. My name is Jody Williams, and I've been asked to be inspirational. Your life is an open book, as they say. What orders could I give to you? What inspiration could I give to you? I don't really know Williams. I've spoken at a few commencements in the last couple of weeks, but they were schools that I had some connection with and thought I knew something about. I'm here mostly because my brother-in-law is a graduate of this institution, and he's one hell of a man. So I figured if Williams could produce a guy like him, some of you probably aren't so bad either, so it probably would be okay to come here and blather a bit and see if anything I have to say is of any inspiration to any of you. Who would have expected that a young woman with a psych degree, after changing her major 5 times, would someday become the 3rd American woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize? Certainly not me. Certainly not my mother and father. Like probably most of your parents who are here or not here, they want you to be something identifiable, something that they can be proud of. Society wants you to be something that it can be proud of. I imagine Williams does so too, so that it can be really proud of great graduates. The pressures to do that, to be that, I think are tremendous, and they never end. life is a constant pressure. It just changes constantly depending on what you're doing at the time. When I went back to graduate school, it gave my parents hope that maybe I wouldn't be an oral surgeon's assistant for the rest of my life. I got my first graduate degree and then promptly became a temporary secretary for 3 years because I was still incredibly confused about what I wanted to be when I grew up. The pressures didn't change. Mom and Dad kept saying, "Oh, you're so smart." You know, I was one of those A student types. Why don't you be a lawyer? Why don't you, do something that can earn you some good money so we don't have to worry about you? And I knew that that wasn't what was important to me. I didn't quite yet know what was important, but I knew that money for money's sake wasn't it. And being something that everybody else thought I should be or was capable of being was not the answer for me either. I had to find what made sense for me in life so that I could give back to life from constantly being engaged every day. Waking up every day wanting to go out in the world and do whatever it was I finally figured out I was going to do. That actually happened well into my third degree. I do have 3 degrees. I went finally to Johns Hopkins. My parents were really impressed with that one because it's a prestigious school. And I got a master's degree in international relations, and they thought, yes, finally she's going to go work at the State Department of the World Bank, and she's going to make money, and we'll be able to tell people what she does now. Because they never could really explain what I was doing. What does she do? She's so smart. Whatever happened to your daughter? She's a temporary secretary. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but my parents were not excited. All these degrees, you're supposed to be making big bucks now, kid. What is your problem? Get a job. So I did. And the job I got was working to stop war in Central America. I owed Johns Hopkins at that time $20,000, and I took a job making $13,000. My parents thought the arithmetic did not compute, but it did for me. It recalled to me the era of Vietnam, which is what defined my generation. I wish I knew what defined yours, and then I could speak to that, but I can only speak to my own. Vietnam and the insanity of policies derived without knowledge of culture horrified me. So when I thought the United States was doing the same thing again in Central America, I thought, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to try to educate people that they have a voice. Try to get US citizens to recognize that the government is not something out there that we're not part of. We are the government. We elect them, we pay for them, they are supposed to represent our voice. Okay, so that's what I started to do. And I grew up to be an activist, even though I didn't know what the term really meant. I just started doing it. And it didn't make my parents very happy, because they couldn't decide still how to describe what I was, so they kind of fudged it, and all their friends did think I was working for the State Department instead of against the State Department. That's true. It's very true. And that mythology kept up for many years, down there doing that dangerous stuff in Central America, fighting with the Salvadoran military and the death squads. They kind of fudged that, and I was actually with the State Department. But when they finally realized that they might be able to be proud of me was when we launched the campaign to ban landmines, and we achieved what we set out to achieve. And what we achieved was proving that in the New World Order, and there really is a New World Order, that ordinary people like you and me actually can make a difference. So now I guess I'm supposed to know who I am. That's another part of my message. I'm not sure if it's inspirational. I find it frightening, frankly. I'm now 47 years old. I'm a Nobel laureate, and I still don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up. With this new title, obviously, comes all sorts of benefits. Let's be real. It's very wonderful to be the third American woman in history. I recognize the benefits that have accrued to me and the work I've done because of this honor. At the same time, I now have this label. I was always very sure about who I was and what I was doing, and that I was doing it for a very particular reason to me. Now all of a sudden I have this Nobel label on me, and wherever I go, people expect certain things of me. I'm supposed to be like Mother Teresa. Think about it. I'm supposed to be like Martin Luther King. I'm supposed to be like Nelson Mandela. These are the people, well, there are also others like Henry Kissinger, a few other. I know. Strange moments in the history of the Nobel Prize. So now I have a new label, which brings its own new pressures. How do I go get a job? What do I apply for? There aren't too many jobs out there that the Nobel Peace Prize winner goes and applies for. The point of this being that all through your life, as your life changes, there will be new pressures, and you will always be trying to figure out how best you fit in, how best you make a contribution to the community, how best that contribution gives something back to you. Because I truly believe we give the best when we are getting also. If we are learning and growing and questioning every day, or at least every week, we give back something more because we're excited by life. My life has been a little confusing and curious and up and down, but it's always been interesting. I have always gotten up every day wondering about what I can craft that day to make me feel like I'm doing something that makes a difference. So I'll end with a good luck. I hope you have a pleasant summer doing whatever it is you're going to do. I hope some of you get a little break. I know I'm having one. I'm going to go home and sit for a few months. Good luck with the rest of your life, and remember, it's always a struggle, and you're always going to have to be working at figuring out who you are. If I ever figure out who I am, I'll let you know.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. We say goodbye today because tomorrow it's too late. Your eyes are on the prize, you have that diploma, and when you march off that stage, you are out of here in spirit, if not in body. This moment has a special poignancy for me, as you are the first class that I have had the pleasure to greet, and now the duty to bid farewell. You were, when you arrived, the smartest class ever at Williams College. You are inevitably the fifth smartest now, but that's not too bad. Think of the poor 50th reunion, folks. In every class, there are always a few who tell me that they just can't stand the idea of leaving, that they simply are not ready to go. That is, of course, quite flattering in a sense, but in those instances, I can't help think, but somehow we failed a little bit. It's my hope that by now our education has so excited you about the world of responsibilities out there that this small college in a small town, however wonderful it is, and it is, just feels to you too small, and it makes you ready and eager to go. There's, of course, a whiff of hypocrisy in this coming from me, as I've never found a way to leave school. But I do get out into the world a fair amount, and mostly I go to visit you, at least metaphorically. That is, I go to see you 10 and 20 and 30 and 40 years from now. I see the graduates of the college as they make their way in the world in ways that are most satisfying to us who stay behind. So you must go. But you will be revisiting us from time to time, in mind, in heart, and body. And it's revisiting I want to talk a little bit about. Revisiting, that's going back to old places, people, old ideas. Revisiting is really one of life's great adventures and essential processes. To remain locked nostalgically in the past is, of course, wholly unacceptable, but never to revisit the past is to live rootlessly, and that's equally unacceptable. I recently had this experience. I recently revisited Henry James' The Wings of the Dove. I did so with some fear and misgivings. When I had read it the first time more than 20 years ago, I found it simply the best novel I had ever read. Having seen the recent film, my curiosity was piqued, and I was determined to take the plunge, but feared in some way it would have lost its magic, lost its power. Fortunately, it had not. But it was a different novel, or more accurately, a very different experience of the same novel, both because I was revisiting, that is, I already knew what was going to happen. I knew the ending. And because over the years I had acquired a larger array of new experiences and feelings, and truth to tell, I had lost touch with some other experiences and feelings. Such will be the case for you as you revisit this college. You will be very different, and we will be somewhat different. But I hope and expect that the meaning you take from the college will only be enhanced in the process. You will know the ending, that is, where you are at any particular moment, and you will return at successive endpoints in your life, recasting and enriching the meaning of these past 4 years in their relationship to what you will have become. In some ways, though, your world will have narrowed. It's unlikely that you will ever enjoy again the expansive freedom provided by the Williams environment. Life brings necessary choices and narrowing, profession, location, relationships. But there's an intriguing and very necessary counterpoint, because with this contraction comes a very important expansion, and that is responsibility. Here, your responsibility has been largely and properly to yourself. With time, you will find that is no longer the case. The lives of your family, your coworkers, your company, your patients, your students, your communities, all will be affected by who you are and what you do. Through the wondrous and sometimes daunting magic lens of responsibility, you will find your thoughts and decisions magnified. They'll affect tens of people, thousands of people, maybe even millions of people. The necessary narrowing brought by life's tasks is, therefore, more than compensated by the magic of the amplification, by the responsibilities you hold, whether you seek them or they seek you. Those responsibilities will also amplify the meaning of what you acquired and achieved here. And we expect you will bring those virtues of mind and character for which we selected you in the first place and that you have strengthened in your time here. Though the specific events of your life here will soon be a closed book, therefore, you will be rereading them in a new light with each new set of steps in life's journey. And though the meaning of your experience here will therefore change in time, your affection will almost surely grow, along with our gratitude for the chance to have been and remain a central part of your lives. And so, with this confidence, justified by the lives of generations of graduates before you, and on behalf of all of us who stay behind, we wish you all the best in your varied goings out and many happy returns to the college that proudly calls you its own.
Mr. Sheriff, pray bring this crowd to order. This meeting will now come to order.
On behalf of all of us at the college, may I open these ceremonies by extending a warm welcome to all of you, the students, parents, friends, distinguished guests. We're delighted to see you here on this splendid day to gather from far and near to usher the class of 1998 into the great wide world. Before we move on to the ceremonies, it's essential, I think, most appropriate to express certain feelings of gratitude to those who have made this day come true. First of all, since 1795, these ceremonies have been opened and closed by the Sheriff of Berkshire County. It is hard for me to believe that any has ever done it with more pride and panache than our own Carmen Masamiamo, and I want to offer him our thanks once again. The college depends on hundreds of people who make this place work. The deans, the physical plant workers, the dining services, the people who receive the checks in the mail, and all of those people who make for a great college. And a few of the staff are here today, and through them, I'd like them to rise wherever they are, and then through them to offer the thanks of all of us for helping bring this day to completion. The heart of a great college is a great faculty, and we do have a great faculty. And I'd ask the faculty to stand and receive the thanks of all of us for their great work. And last, but certainly not least, indeed, in many ways first, the success of the graduates depends on the support, the love, the care, the vision of parents, family, and friends. And I'd ask all of those of you who've come to celebrate to stand and receive our thanks and gratitude for all that you've done for us.